That's a pretty good day, Jess.
Not half bad. Thank you, Jesse.
Well, John Rawlings is here now with some action on the hardwood.
Yeah, you know, when Michigan lost to Nebraska by 20 points, I thought the Cornhuskers and Ohio State might be a good game. It turned out to be just that. I'll have those highlights in a little bit, but first, we go to Wapakoneta. The Redskins battling Marion local, plus Lima Senior playing Conference Pro Notre Dame. Stick around.
Boys.
After knocking down Elida, the third-ranked team in the state on Friday, the Wapakoneta boys basketball team is starting to heat up. The Redskins have now won 4 games in a row, and tonight they host Marion local, the Flyers on a 3-game win streak of their own. So let's head to Wapakoneta, the WBL meeting the MAC. We begin in the first quarter. Noah Ambos to an open Gage Shank. The senior strokes one down for the opening bucket of the game, and Shank wasn't done yet. Driving inside the hoop and the harm, Wapak starts this on a 6-0 run. Marion local looking for answers. Nathan Bruns has it. The big man puts the Flyers on the board, but Wapak responds from the outside. Aaron Good with a great shot. Redskins pull ahead by 7. Flyers kept working the post, though. This time, Tyler Mesher scores underneath. Marion keeping it close. Now, Wapak wants to try it down low themselves. Shank finds a cutting Adam Scott. The A-Train gives Wapakoneta an 11-4 lead. Marion living in the post, though, and it's hard not to when you have a big guy like Mesher, but Wapak keeps saying 3 is better than 2. Good pulling from way outside. The Redskins shooting well in the first quarter, and what makes them even more dangerous is how quick their cuts are. Shank getting open. Wapak takes an 18-6 lead, but Marion battles back. This time it's the 6'6" Bruns getting the work done. Marion local beats Wapak in overtime, 54-52. Girls hoops, Lima Senior hosting track foe Notre Dame. Late in the fourth, Lexi Williams using the glass. Spartans trailing 44-28, trying to work their way back. Destiny McDonald to Cheyenne Bean. The freshman brings the Spartans within 20, but Notre Dame Academy was too tough tonight. Mylan Kaiser finishing down low, and if you recognize that name, it's because that's Deshaun Kaiser's little sister. Spartans fall 58-32. Big Ten ball, Ohio State looking to remain perfect in conference play. They welcome the Cornhuskers of Nebraska. This is a close one throughout. First half, C.J. Jackson makes the tough layup. Buckeyes up 21-20. We move it into the second half of this barn burner. Kata Bates-Diop with a beautiful move, and you knew he was going to finish. 20 points for him on the night, and then it's Jackson who goes ahead and ices this one. The tough hook with some contact, count it, and one. Ohio State wins 64-59. With the highlights out of the way, when we come back, we take a trip to Minster. Our latest scholar athlete is turning heads on the court and in the classroom. Hear her story right after this quick timeout. Welcome back. The Minster girls basketball team just handed Ottaville their first loss of the season, and a major part of that team's success is Taylor Kogi. The senior Wildcat is our latest scholar athlete of the week.
The McDonald's Scholar Athlete of the Week is brought to you by Jerry Lewis McDonald's Restaurants in Lima, Delphus, Van Wert, Beaver Dam, Bluffton, Cary, Upper Sandusky, Ada, Ottawa, and Hicksville.
When you hear Taylor Kogi is involved in 12 different extracurricular activities, you might think she's spreading herself too thin.
If you ask my parents, they would definitely say that. They get kind of mad at me sometimes because I come home for a few minutes, eat dinner, and then I'm like, oh, I got to go somewhere else, you know? But definitely, I don't think I'd be the person I am today. And I think right now, if I'm very busy, very involved, doing everything I can to help my community, help the school, that's only going to help me as I grow.
As a 3-sport athlete, Kogi definitely has a lot on her plate, but she has to stay hungry to achieve Minster's goal of repeating as MAC champions.
She's the communicator. She's probably, most people would consider, the glue to our team. I'm not saying that she's the leading point scorer. She's not the leading rebounder, but she's the person that makes everything that we do go around, partly because she communicates so well with her teammates, and her teammates rely on her to do that.
And on top of all of her clubs and being a major part of the state-ranked basketball team, Kogi also gets her work done in the classroom, carrying a 3.7 GPA.
She is a joy in the classroom. She brings a smile to everyone's face every single day, no matter what her mood is. But what impresses me always the most about Taylor is she just works hard at everything. She doesn't know how to not do something as best as she can do it. So at Minster, we really talk about being courageous, accountable, and thoughtful, and Taylor just exemplifies all 3 of those traits. So I have no doubt she'll be super successful whatever she chooses to do.
Taylor Kogi, your latest McDonald's Scholar Athlete of the Week. And speaking of girls basketball, the Wildcats still remain atop the Division IV state rankings, Minster earning 13 first-place votes. Despite suffering their first loss of the season by 1 point to Minster, Ottaville remains in the 3rd spot, and Fort Recovery bumps up 3 more spots from last week, the Indians in 7th. In Division 3, Versailles is now the #1 team, swapping spots with Columbus Afrocentric. As for Ottawa Glandorf and Liberty Benton, both the Titans and Eagles holding on to their respective spots. Boys polls released today as well. In Division 2, Elida suffered their first loss of the season to Wapak on Friday. The Bulldogs dropping from 3rd to 8th. Division 3, undefeated Ottawa Glandorf stays in 3rd with 3 first-place votes, while Versailles gets 1 first-place vote. The Tigers still in 8th. Fort Loramie remains the top-ranked team in Division 4 with an unblemished 14-0 record. The Redskins fresh off an overtime victory against Minster. The Wildcats remain in 9th. And one more MAC team turning some heads, St. Henry moving up to the 5th position. College basketball, Ohio State making an impressive jump up to 13th. Their stock is just fine with their win against Nebraska. My alma mater, Purdue, is still the highest-ranked team in the Big Ten. They sit in 3rd. Dakota Mathias and company will host 25th-ranked Michigan this Thursday at Mackey Arena. And the last Big Ten team representing the conference is Michigan State. The Spartans ranked 6th. And even more good news for the Buckeyes. For the second time in his young career, Caleb Weston is named the Freshman Player of the Week. The center averaged 11.5 points and 7 rebounds, helping his team to a pair of wins over the weekend. The Buckeyes still undefeated in conference play. As for your local College Weekly honors, Kiera Watson is named the OAC Swimmer of the Week. The junior polar bear posted a perfect 6-0 record in her events over the weekend, helping Ohio Northern beat Baldwin Wallace and Oberlin. And finally tonight, former Ohio State linebacker and 3-time Super Bowl champ Mike Vrabel has been hired as the Tennessee Titans head coach. Vrabel started his coaching career at his alma mater, then moved to Houston as a linebackers coach, eventually being promoted to the defensive coordinator position of the Texans this past year. Now he'll take over for a team that was already in the playoffs in his first job as a head coach.
Not bad.
Not
Thanks,
bad at
John.
all.
We'll be back with stocks.